I, I was busy typing back to Joseph G and forgot to hit go live. Yeah, we always start at 7 p.m. Central, Joseph G.
Yeah, sorry we're a little late, guys.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to Grumpy Acres. It's time for our live weekly update. Terminator from My Crooked Little Homestead.
Flying your hands around, remember? It'll
sorry.
glitch the video.
Terminator from My Crooked Homestead was the first one in chat again. Congratulations to her. She wins a prize.
What prize?
I don't know. She just wins a prize. So we're going to talk about our what we did this week, and then we got some ag news, and we got some commentary, and we're just going to have a grand old time. And we'll just go wherever it takes us.
And the ag news, oh my gosh!
Hey, Farm All 140, how you doing?
Hey, you guys are going to be blown away.
Welcome to the channel. Glad you can make it. Always nice seeing new faces in here. Mm-hmm. And Skanes girls representing the deep south.
Hey.
Where are you from, Farm All? Just so we got a general location. But we had a relatively busy week.
Mm-hmm.
Rather
very busy week for me.
Productive week. We got a lot done.
Yeah.
What did you do all week?
So we're, of course, because we're getting ready for festivals, and that's all gearing up for next month. Freeze drying. So cooking and freeze drying. In fact, I've got something on the stove right now, and I'll get that back in. But I've got chili ready to go in. I've got raw eggs ready to go in. I've got a lot. So just trying to keep up with all that stuff to keep the freeze dryers full. So we'll have plenty of stuff for SelfReliance Festival. And then candy galore. I've been experimenting with that. That's been fun. And so, but I'm trying to get the meals done. So not doing as much candy. So I'm kind of laying off on that, but I'll probably take a day and just do a lot. Because with the 2 freeze dryers, I can get 200 pounds of candy done in one day.
And you got one of the freeze dryers is down at the moment.
Yeah, but it'll be back up tomorrow.
It needs to be cleaned. We learned a very good lesson, didn't we? About whenever you do high fat foods.
If you do high fat foods, you got to pull it out and then clean it immediately. It did fine, and it dried everything the way it was supposed to. It just the fat kind of got everywhere. So I don't know how that releases, but somehow it released and it clogged a valve. So
that, and it caused that one to not freeze properly because it couldn't get cold enough.
Right.
So, but we're working on it. We know what's wrong. We know how to clean it.
Yep. Sorry guys, I was trying to get you ham and beans and ham and cheese chips.
You got a lot of ham and beans, and you got a lot of ham and cheese chips.
I got a lot of ham and beans.
So, then you tested that pork tenderloin recipe. Okay, so here's my problem with the pork tenderloin when it's freeze dried. It's rather bland.
Yeah.
When it's by itself.
Right.
So
because it really needs to be reconstituted.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to make a great chip. We're going to try something else. He's been macking on it, so I have to try to get that in the freeze dryer before he finishes off. But I did lime and chili sauce, and so he got some seasoning. We tried to put it on the pork loin after it was freeze dried. It just doesn't. It tastes bland. You can't taste the lemon. You can taste the chili, but you can't taste the lime. You can't taste the lime. And so I went and got some limes because obviously we can't grow those here. Juiced everything, threw some rind in there, all of that. It actually tasted really, really good. I like it.
It is good.
So I marinated everything over 24-hour period, and I'm going to get that in the freeze dryer and see how that goes. Maybe that'll be a little bit different. I still think you're going to have the same consistency, and you're going to have to rehydrate it.
I think the pork tenderloin, I don't think you can make chips out of it.
No, I don't know what we're going to do. We have all kinds of labels for pork loin chips.
And then you do anything? I mean, you did a lot of work. You actually spent almost every day this last week doing nothing but freeze drying.
Yeah, it's been constant. So freeze drying going, got a lot of stuff bagged. And so
you got to know the manager at Lowe's pretty good.
Yes.
Tell him that story. Hey, Patty.
So,
Jack, how you doing?
Which day? The first day? All of them, or what?
Well, just how you got to know the manager at Lowe's really well.
So the first day I went to Lowe's, I needed to get 3 sheets of subfloor, and there were only 2 sheets on. And so I went and over at the pro cashier because there was nobody at the pro desk. And I asked her, I said, hey, can you look up da 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 and see how many of these you have in there? And she looked very confused and very frustrated. And so I don't know, maybe she was having a bad day. And so she called customer service, and I don't know, somehow I ended up having to go down to customer service, and one of the managers just happened to be walking by. So I kind of explained to him what was going on. He looked up the number, and yeah, sure enough, there was like 180 sheets
and
or something
you dropped
like
dime
that.
on her for rolling her eyeballs at you too.
He said something, and kind of like, I wasn't complaining or anything. I was just like, well, you could tell she wasn't interested. So, so it is what it is. It was a kid. So, if that explains a lot. And then, so he went over, then we had to get the forklift, get it down, cause it was all the way up at the top shelf. So they got it down. I got my third sheet, and then, they loaded the vehicle for me, and it was all done. So then she goes, hey, we're ready for, oh no, I saw a vanity on clearance, and it had the top and everything. If I tried to put it together myself, it was going to be well over $1,100. And so I was like, well, we'll get this on clearance and then maybe, but I couldn't get a hold of him. So I asked him when I got home, like, hey, would you be okay with this? This is kind of what we're looking at. And, here's how much it is if we try to get it in the unit. And then here's how much it is if we try to do it ourselves. And he said, yeah, go get it. So the next day I go back and I had to get that. And then I got 2 pieces. Oh yeah, I got that. And then I got the faucet and the medicine cabinet and all that. And it went through the checkout, and Kennedy wouldn't ring up. So they went,
this is a normal thing with you at Home Depot, isn't it?
This was at Lowe's.
Or at Lowe's.
And so then I was like, oh crap. So I had to go over to customer service to check out. And the manager came by. He didn't even know what was going on. And so he's like, hey, how you doing? And I said, good. And then just in passing, I was like, I'm causing problems again. And, we're just kind of laughing. He's like, what's going on? So explain it to him. So they got me ring up, and then he called somebody to get it loaded because it is solid wood. It's nice. And it's got a marble top on it. So it's heavy. And I think it was like 150 pounds total is what it says on the box. And then so I was like, oh, I forgot insulation. Okay, while you're waiting on the guy to come help you load the truck, I'm going to run and grab some insulation real quick. So I ran and grabbed some insulation, came back, and I needed to pay for it, but he's grabbing it already. And I was like, where's everything at? And I look over, and he's got the cart that I had, and he's just pushing the flatbed over to an aisle out of the way. And I was like, did you load that already? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, you're the white truck, right? Like, the guy knows my truck. And so
Patty says you were flirting with him.
I was not. How you got no, that's not true. And so, so then he grabs the insulation for me, which I totally had. I'm just short. So, I have to hold it over my head. And he's like, well, I have a knife, so I can help you with this. And so we were discussing if we were going to do like strap it down, but I've been through that nightmare and pieces flying all over the highway. So we decided to put it in the back of the truck, and he cut it down for me and all that. And then as he's walking away, he looks at me and he goes, see you tomorrow. I just had to laugh. And so yesterday,
little did he know it's not tomorrow, it's Thursday.
So then Garen goes, hey, I forgot to get you to get light fixtures. So I was going to go back yesterday, but then that would have been the see you tomorrow. So he would have seen me. So I purposely did not go yesterday so that I could go get it today, but I didn't see him today. So I loaded all my own stuff.
Hey, Jonathan, Dolores. Yeah. Thanks for the comment on the project videos. I'm having fun doing them, but that's how I spent my entire week. I basically, aside from taking care of the animals, I spent the entire week working on that bathroom, and it was an experience.
It's a lot of work. It's pretty bad.
It was an experience. Yeah. Cause they did everything wrong. I showed the hole in the floor, which just boggled my mind. That hole without the rod around it is big enough I could stick my head down there. And they left it like that on purpose. Yeah. And it had a metal bathtub, and it had about a 1-inch piece of styrofoam that fit directly underneath where the bathtub was, because they've got those my arms, I'm sorry. They've got that open space around it. So that bathtub, that metal bathtub, was sitting directly over an open hole that went down into a crawl space that was about 3 feet away from a opening, like an entrance to the crawl space. And I can't believe Hax was over here and I was showing him the way it was, and he said, I'll bet that made for some really cold baths.
Yeah.
Right.
And thank God we have extra eyes to get on every project. So we kind of know what we're doing. I went over some stuff with an old client of mine. She's actually the one that is going to be purchasing our food and candy for her bar event center. And so I spoke with her and kind of went through, because that's what they do, is flip homes. And I have sold them some really rough stuff. And so she said, you're doing it right. So, yep. You got it.
I'm doing it the way it's getting done, whether it's right or wrong.
She said that's how
Carmel says it's supposed to be 80s this week down in southeast Georgia. He's putting potatoes in the ground. It's
turning cold here. It was nice today. It was like 78. And so then it got colder through the evening. But
we got that cold front rolling through. Terminator says she's waiting for it to hit up there. And I was reading today that cold front is supposed to extend all the way across the continental United States and up into Canada. So you guys that live up north, be cognizant of that. Yeah. Then that's 90 down in Texas. I hope you enjoy it, because you're moving here, Jonathan. he's gonna have to toughen up. He'll do just fine. They complain when it gets down into the 40s down in Texas. Texas. He'll be fine.
So so that's basically what we did. And then you got a hay bale down. But then they've torn it up already.
Oh yeah, I brought a hay bale this week. I got it on. When did I get that? Well, I got it on Sunday, so I got it before the last broadcast.
Oh, did you?
And it was gone by Sunday.
Yeah,
so
and
it lasted a week.
And then the monkeys found a fail in the fencing, and so I kind of had to laugh, because I'm looking out the windows and watching them to kind of see what they're doing. And it was pretty amazing. They went over to my garden. I did not pull everything up. I kind of left it there because I want them to go work the dirt, get the chickens to work in there and peck at it and get what they can, kind of fertilize that a little bit better. And you would have loved it. It was perfect permaculture today. It was amazing. Oh, yeah. They went into the garden. So the goats and sheep were in there. They were eating on everything. Then they saw the bamboo, so they left, and then all the chickens and turkeys went into the garden and started working what they left. And it was pretty neat to see in action.
Yep, they know.
Yeah. So, but they did it on their own. We didn't have to move them.
Well,
that was just fantastic.
Speaking of the bamboo, since they've been going through that hay so quick the last couple of times, I'm taking the chainsaw out to the bamboo grove, and I'm just hacking it down 10-foot swaths at a time, then taking it over there and giving it every day, because the bamboo leaves have a really high protein content.
What's the what?
Jonathan says he's, speaking of weather tolerance, he's found a Timuc rabbit breeder in the area this weekend. So he's finally getting his rabbits.
Oh, good.
Good for you. Good for you. Great wine production. Or rabbit production. Joseph G says wine cap motion plugs came in last week. I put them in the ground. They're supposed to come up in 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. You need to get ours in the ground.
I got to get logs. Ours are for inoculating logs.
We have a bunch of logs out there.
I know. When do I have time?
I need my mushrooms. They're getting expensive.
Well, are we coming up on
my Crooked Little Homestead? Yeah, I have canned fish. And so the way that I do it depends on, you need to know the fat content. So like salmon is fattier and that kind of thing. So I will actually preserve in 2 ways. And so I get everything seasoned and all of that. Then I throw it on the smoker. And in fact, don't we have a video on that? I think there's a video on that back there. It would have been last summer.
Yeah, like June.
Sometime in there.
I'll put a link in the comments to it.
Yeah, and then so after I smoke everything, I get it in, and then you're gonna dry can that. So you put that in, and then put the lid on it, and then go ahead and pressure can it. Yeah, it works out really well.
You've been
macking on it. Yeah,
she got salmon, crab,
salmon, crab,
a shrimp,
yeah,
and then that seafood medley.
and then there was another one though too. Maybe I did tilapia.
No, the
And
tilapia
I thought
back
I
there.
did do tilapia, but there's something. And so anyway, but the catfish, I have a special recipe that always sells out. Everybody's going to be happy at SelfReliance or Midwest Preparedness Festival, which one we get to first, because I found more when I was doing inventory. So
catfish salsa.
the catfish salsa.
That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Skeins want Joseph make sure that you keep track of that mushroom growing so that we know how it goes for you.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. I actually bought these plugs
years ago.
2 years ago.
More than that.
And they've been sitting in the refrigerator because I went to go do them, and these you have to do a log, and you basically take a 5-foot log and you drill little holes in it, and you take the plugs and stick them in there. But you got to soak the logs in water. So I threw them in the pond before I started drilling on them, and got them all ready to go, and then never put the plugs in.
Yeah.
And they should still be good. I'm kind of glad I didn't at this point, because if not, the people at the old Grumpy
would have them and not us.
would have them. Well, tell them you had a conversation with the mom.
Yeah.
And tell them. So she's going to tell you a story about what's happened to our old homestead after we sold it, because she's kept in touch with them. And I think it's cool.
I like Sarah and Caleb. So Sarah had messaged me, and I was messaging her back, but there was so much information I needed to just call her. So she had not heard about the Ohio chemical spill yet, the train wreck. And another homeschool mom in the group was saying, how did you not hear about this? And so Sarah's thought was, I'm calling Angela. And so I called her back, and Garen had happened to walk in, and we let her know where they're at. They're fine. It's not going to affect them. And she wanted to know, okay, so how do you prep for something like that? So we went over that, what to have in your prep stash. And so you could get out of something like that safely. And then I was like, okay, I want to know what's going on with the farm. And so they've got cows on there now, the full pasture. Their hogs are doing great. The sow that we sold them has, so what did she say, 16, 18 babies?
18 piglets.
18 piglets, and she's pregnant again. So we are actually going to buy some feeders from her and pull those over. They'll be ready in June, she said. And they're trained on a single wire. So that is perfect. We can move them through the woods. They can work all that. It's going to be great. And then she sent some pictures, because we were like, send some pictures. And she sent some pictures. Oh my gosh, the boys are happy. They're running around. Everybody's involved. They're milking the cows. They're doing all of that. And it's just super cool to hear. They got horses now. So the horses are coming up. Yep. And Caleb doesn't have to mow so much. He can just put them out on the front lawn. Take care of that. So it's just wonderful to see how everything's going. And the house that was next door to us, the property next door there was another like-minded homesteading family that moved in.
There's an old lady that lived there when we were there, and
she passed away.
And so they've got a like-minded neighbor,
which is awesome. I love it. And so they're just doing fantastic. They added a freeze dryer. They had a friend that had one that let her borrow it. And so she's trying to work out. I walked her through that to update the software and all of that. So hopefully she's got that done. I had to message her and see how that went.
Well, it's cool because
and we will be interviewing them. We always said that we were going to, but I think it's kind of fun now, because seeing what they're doing on the amount of acreage that they're doing, I think this will make a better video than what we were going to do before.
Well, and it's cool because they were able to start. I mean, when they bought our property, they got a really big head start.
Oh yeah,
because all the infrastructure except for the cross fencing was in place, and it's phenomenal. And they're young parents. Their kids are really young, and it's just those kids are going to grow up living the lifestyle, and it's awesome. Okay, so we're missing some.
Yeah, we are.
So Terminator says she got some bay seeds and hoping to grow bay trees. Skate says she has a huge bay tree growing next to her son's house. Doesn't do me good from a. Yeah, it does. Well, have him pick some leaves and send them to you. Check them out. And then Rabbit Coyote showed up. How you doing, man? $8,400 to put a new engine in my truck. Wow!
Ooh.
Ouch! but you got to have your truck, right?
And it's probably cheaper than buying a new truck.
Oh,
It
it's
is cheap.
definitely cheaper.
We've had those conversations. And so, but then by the time you go buy a new diesel, and especially with the power that I've got on mine, on ours, there's just no way.
Well, if we take care of it, that engine in it'll last.
Yeah, I've got
years.
Alice. It's an Allison and Duramax, and so it'll go over 1,000,000 miles, and I don't have to change the oil but 15,000. But we need to get hacks up here because we need to get an oil change. I need to get a filter too.
We'll figure it out how we're gonna barter with them.
Oh, we'll figure it out. But we gotta get that done before we head out to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
that, and I need to get the maintenance done on my on the skid loader.
Already, you did another.
You got to do 10-hour maintenance every 10 hours.
Oh, I thought it was 100.
No, you do 100 hours too.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Dog Creek, how you doing?
Hey, aren't you doing an interview with Dog Creek?
He is supposed to find it. So I approached Dog Creek today formally and proposed a video, and he may have to work the night I proposed. So he's going to find out, and then we're going to
pick another night. Yeah, just pick another night.
Yeah, we'll pick another night if we have to. It's all good, man. Mm-hmm. It's all good. But you guys need to hear his story. Tag was telling me a little bit about the interview that he did, and between how he got to where he is and what he's trying to do there in Indiana. See, I said Indiana this time. I said Ohio in the email earlier because I wasn't thinking. Well, actually, I was thinking. So anyway, but there you go. So there you go, folks. You heard it right here. He thinks it'll work. If not, we'll just wing it.
Yeah, great.
Rev says his is a 5.3 liter and upgrading to a non-DOD and tweaked 600 horsepower. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Do you even know what that means?
I have no idea what a DOD FM crap is.
I think so.
That's why I kind of I'm not a car person.
This is why we have a mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You cannot. There are very few people that can be expert in everything. I can tell you about firearms. I can tell you about computer operations, not necessarily computers.
You don't have to sell yourself to me. You already did that 30 years ago. Knock it off.
And it boggles my mind because I can do carpentry now, and I never could do that before. I mean, I could cobble stuff together, and it might last.
Skeens girl, the oil changes. Yeah. Mine, it sits so high. The truck sits so high. There's no way I could even, I don't know how I would definitely have to have a ladder, and then I'd have to have some kind of pad because I would have to crawl up in there to be able to do an oil change and all of that. I can hardly put fluid in my truck. So don't say anything snide. I know it's going. Don't.
Nope, I'm not gonna say it.
So, but yeah, so Darren can get up there. He knows how to do it. And so
Indiana, Mike, and Rod joining the party. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey guys.
So that's basically it on the update. We got anything? The poor puppy. She's had a rough week. The puppy's had a very rough week. So the turkeys figured out that they could bully her. We can't let her off the chain because she does not listen yet, and she chases the chickens and terrorizes everything. So Roger and Turk's the big white one. They figured out that they could bully her, so they chase her around, and she can't get away from them.
Roger's even figured out that he can put his foot in, and Turk can go a different direction, and they get her kind of.
Well, Roger was standing on the
like
lead.
Well, he gets it wrapped around not wrapped around, but it's kind of like he's in there, like you step in it. And so because I was concerned, I thought, oh my gosh, she's gonna end up running off and taking him down there. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he did that, and they had her cornered, so she couldn't move because the lead would not go anywhere. And I go down to try to save her, and Roger's like, go, like, what the hell? You need to let me play. And so
I don't know if they're playing. They've
figured out they can get her underneath the wood crib, and she's not going to be able to do that very much longer. No. She's getting big, and so I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I think we're gonna. And I hate to do it. I just hate it. I think we're gonna have to go to a shock collar. I think we're gonna have to figure this out.
If we can get her trained, we get her off.
She's just so young, so to put her on a shock collar right now just kills me.
And then last night, she got bit.
Yeah.
She was in Manny's face all day long, and he was growling, and we were trying to separate him, and she just would not let it go, and he reached up and clamped down on her nose, and
He didn't clamp down on her. That is not what happened.
He got her.
Hack saw what happened. That is not what happened. He's older, so he's like 10, 11 years old. He'll be 11, I think, this year. And so he's getting slower. And so before, where he would just give a warning, like the rough, kind of nip, but letting you know you're too close. He doesn't have that speed to pull back anymore. And she's so young that she's faster than he is, so the timing is just not working out. So he got her, and it's a slash, so that's how I know he did not clamp down on her. And so
her poor snout's all swollen up today, and she looks like a bull terrier now. She got that
yeah, see, Manny just snapped and his tooth caught her face.
Yeah.
So they saw it. We did not see it. So
I'm just saying. And she was scared to death.
Yeah.
But she was back in his grill today.
Oh my gosh, she was.
She didn't learn her lesson.
She's 12 weeks old.
That's fine.
You got to quit putting so much responsibility
on a 12-week-old. That's like a
puppy.
10-year-old. Kid.
No, it's not.
That's 7 years.
Okay, so 7 years. So I think it's 1 year. 7 years old. She's like a 2-year-old.
Okay, fine. Rabbit Cody, got more chicks to add to my flock. Waiting for some turkeys to hatch now. Have cabbage, spinach, radishes, strawberries, sugar snap, peas, all going in the greenhouse. Another pile of compost.
Great.
Excellent.
And keep it up and keep hatching out those chicks.
Excellent. Yeah. So that was one thing that we wanted to talk about. That's kind of it for the update, right?
Yeah.
But
I have to get over to the
Yoda got some information from
a friend of mine.
Friend of hers that is close to somebody that runs a livestock auction.
Phillips and Sons Leavenworth livestock auction.
And so she got some prices. You guys need to hear. Now remember, this is a livestock auction.
Right.
And the prices at the livestock auction are going to be lower than at Tractor Supply in Orchland or any place like that.
Correct. Or a private sale.
Or a private sale. Uh-huh. So just keep that in mind with these prices.
Yeah. So he wanted me to just highlight some. So basically they had 1,200 head of chickens. The baby chicks went anywhere from $3 to $10 a piece. Low-end hens went from $7 to $13. Average hens went from $15 to $30. High-end hens went $30 to $50.
Ain't no way I'm paying $50 for a chicken.
Yeah.
They better lay golden eggs.
The roosters, big roosters, went anywhere from $15 to $32.50 a piece. That's a rooster.
You can't even give roosters. I don't care how big it is. You can't even give them.
We're calling roosters.
Yeah, we're calling.
They're going to freezer camp. Yeah. The turkeys. Oh, here's one I thought was interesting. Peacocks. The peacocks went all the way up to $145, no lower than $70. Guineas went from $18 to $40 a piece. All those guineas we had run off last year, I want to cry. Rabbits went from $3 to $32.50. Turkeys went no lower than $35 all the way up to $75. Ducks went from $5 to $30. Let's see.
Waco Crates says the prices that you're giving are the same thing they're seeing in Indiana.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Yep. And the pygmy nannies were going from $100 to $185. Replacement boar nannies were all up to $300. And no lower than $255. Pygmy and boar families, the crossed, went from $250 to $290.
Oh, speaking of nannies, that reminds me. I talked with Scott today.
I got nannies coming.
Well, we got to talk about it. He's got 2 2-year-olds that came from Red's bloodline. So
I'll take them.
They're naturally pulled, but he mixed them with
boar. He had boars.
Yeah,
out there.
boar. He mixed it. They're mixed with the boar.
I'll take them.
So we had this Nigerian doe that was just the sweetest thing, Red, and she had a whole bunch of babies, and we sold them to Scott, and we actually helped Scott get his flock going.
Yeah.
And she ended up having she had triplets, and with goats we found this out after the fact talking with our vet.
Yeah, it's very rare.
So in rare cases, goats will get paralysis, like partial paralysis on their
giving birth.
Giving birth. Normally, it's on the hind legs, and at that point, you have to put them down because they can't do anything. Hers were on her front legs, so she was walking like this, and
kind of on her elbows.
Yeah, and there wasn't. We talked to the vet, and he's like, "Yeah, it's she pinched a nerve, and there's nothing you can do about it."
Yeah,
but she had two more babies after that.
No, she didn't have any more after that.
Yeah, she did. She had that one, at least one.
Are you
that
sure?
I remember. Yep.
I didn't think so.
But she ended up, she passed away. But we got a chance to buy some kids that come from her bloodline, and she was a prolific milk.
Beautiful, great milk. We were almost getting a gallon a day from her.
Yeah,
and man, it was great.
So we may have two. We may have two milk goats coming here pretty soon. I told him I talked to you about it because you wanted yearlings, right?
I'll do 2-year-olds. I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, so
that's not too old.
They've probably already had They've probably
they both
had one litter. So yeah. So no, that's fine. And they were successful, right? So no problems. Yes, I'll take them.
Well, that's why. So this friend Scott started out with 4 goats total.
Yeah.
And that's
the way we always do.
His then fiance, now wife, would not let him butcher them or sell them. And he said that he screwed up on his breeding schedule, and so he's got 25 extra goats that he's trying to get rid of right now.
Yeah.
So,
and we call every year, like, what you got? So let me talk to my wife, and then oh well, now here we are. We're gonna get some. So going back
to the chat, Skane's girl did her homestead plan. That's awesome.
Great.
We need to sit down and figure out our plan for this spring. We got so much stuff going on.
That's you just kind of point to me and say plan over there.
And then Rabbit Coyote says he's been doing it for 10 years now, making plans. You got to make plans every year. You got to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. What changes need to be made. So obviously we're going to be running livestock down in the woods now.
Yep.
So we've got to get that set up. We'll have to have that ready by May?
Yep.
And because we'll be getting them in June. So
and Skanes and Rabbit Coyote both said they're doing stuff, home repairs and all that stuff. And Rabbit Coyote made the comment that not having any help makes it hard.
Very hard.
Makes it very hard. This is why we constantly preach build your community.
Yeah. Yep. We constantly we'll just do homestead work days. And so, we'll go over to another homestead. We went over to Life Done Free and we put away 17 cords.
40.
Was it 40?
Well, we cut 40.
Cut 40, stacked 17 maybe.
Yeah.
And so cords of wood, and then went over to Hacks for the homesteaders, did that.
Chickens and cut wood there.
And then came over here. Yeah. So that's what we do. We just rotate, and it helps. It takes the burden off of a lot of people.
And Hacks has lent his electrical and construction and mechanic genius to our homestead. It's just invaluable.
Yep.
Can't repay him.
Yeah.
Can't repay him enough.
No.
So that's why we're always talking community. That's why I invite people to subscribe. If you're just watching this video, come join our virtual community, because even if you're not there physically, you can see Rabbit and Skanes talking to each other and just motivating each other and exchanging ideas, and that makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah. And because it takes partnership, and then even if you get everybody over, and we've done just canning days, and so everybody will come over and can, and that works out fine. Actually, that's a really good test of character as well. So maybe that's the first one that you do. Everybody brings their jars and ingredients and all of that stuff, and then you get everything out there and chop everything up, and then see how willing everybody is to take their share, or if they take more, and did they take more than what they brought, that kind of thing. Great way to judge character. Then you know how deep you really want to dive with them.
Skanes, you bring up a great point, a fantastic point. One thing we learned, and correct me if I'm wrong here,
Gaines, the property next door to me is for sale.
you have to build.
There's a trailer there.
There's a lot of tear down and building.
We can clean it up. You'd have temporary shelter.
Okay, I got to show this real quick first. And where is it? Hax is getting free food out of it. That's why he helps us so much. Okay, Skeen, you bring up a great point, and correct me if I'm wrong. You cannot rely on somebody else to build your community. That's why we are in Kansas and we're not in Missouri.
Right. We learned that the hard way.
We learned that the extremely hard way because we waited for somebody to build a community and in my defense, you know, he was the local, I was still the outsider. We lived where we lived. Even if you'd been in town for 20 years, if you didn't go to high school there or have grandparents there, you were an outsider. You know, and just it's one of those small town things. You guys know what that's like. But anyway, you know, what got hid that says to show? We had to oops. Anyway,
what is that? What happened?
Where?
It says hide. What are you hiding?
No, you're hiding this. She's learning StreamYard as I'm trying to talk.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, sorry.
Anyway, so what you have to do is make your own community. That's why the potlucks and going to meetups and doing all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons why we promote freesteading too. Because like I always say, go to the state page, go to the event page. In fact, I just put a Ozark meetup for somebody into the event calendar for June 10th and 11th down at Stockton Lake.
Who's that?
The Backwoods Misfits.
Oh, are we going to that?
I might. I don't know about you.
Okay.
I don't know about you. New group of people.
Are there going to be puppets there?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's a long story. But anyway, you know, so get on there and find these things, meet people in your state, and make it happen. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. Let's see here. Now, what did Rabbit say? He's got 5-acre homestead right here next to the Lake of the Ozarks, all bought and paid for. Amen. Looking to add some more if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. So obviously the opportunity presented itself to us.
Yeah.
And that's what we had said. So we would prefer to add the property. Well, prefer to add both properties. It's just after what we saw, what they're wanting for it, we think that we need to just kind of hold back a little bit and see when they're ready to renegotiate. And then and we'll see how this year goes. And so we'll figure that one out. We may, if we have a successful year, like what everybody thinks we're going to have with the freeze-dried food and stuff, it may be nothing and just offer them a cash deal and take it. Okay. So, but we would love to do that, but we figured out after talking to a real estate agent with what they're saying acreage is going for out here because there's no comps. I don't want to pay that kind of money. Apparently our land is worth more than our house right now.
Jonathan heard God made the countryside, man made the cities, but devil made small towns. I would say probably a liberal. Yeah. Probably a liberal said that because small town, I'd rather be in a small town any day.
Yep.
You know what? I've been thinking about going to Hutch and Backwoods. Where are they meeting up? That's the thing. I can never get on whenever they're talking about when and where they're going to have it. Was trying to figure out how to go to the meetup in North Carolina.
Yeah, we were thinking we would do SelfReliance Festival and then run up there the last day that they're there, just spend Sunday night. There's no way to do it. It's 8 hours from Camdenton, Tennessee. So there's no way.
So Rabbit, if you've got the information on that, send it to me and I'll get it on the calendar and make sure people know about it. You know, and it's different crowds. It's different crowds, but that's how you get community is by going and seeing all these things.
This is how you filter people. The campouts and gatherings are seriously the best way to filter people. And there are some that slide in and you have to, keep testing and keep testing and keep testing. And then they reveal their true selves, after a couple of years. And, at that point, you just cut ties and go.
And Reb, weren't you telling me you're up on the north end of like the Ozarks? Is that up by oh God, what's the
No,
place?
don't give it because he's saying just 30 minutes.
No,
30
we were
miles
talking.
from
We
me,
were.
but-
I think we were talking the other day because he was running some of the same lake we were whenever we had our place at Deer Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to get into the festival in Marshfield, but I still haven't got an answer on the vendor application. So
They're talking about what 4,000 people.
4,500 to 5,000 people.
That'd be
And
nice.
so and there's going to be some big speakers there. But I wanted to get the vendor tent up and get that going, but I still haven't got a response. So, but it's been the holiday weekend and that kind of thing. So we'll just wait and see. And
yeah, he's in the Lowry area.
Oh yeah. Oh, Lowry is exactly where we were. Yeah.
So I told you we were chewing up some of the same lake.
Uh-oh. Hopefully you weren't the one smoking pot behind our trailer at the lake. I was pretty mean about that. I had young kids.
Yeah.
Now I don't care. So
yeah, they've got that one, and then there's one down in Oklahoma that I'm supposed to get the information for too. But
I think Starla said something about in Texas as well.
When I meet up in Texas.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any of that information, either post it in the comments, put it on send it to our email. If you're not on Freesteading to do it yourself, I will get it on Freesteading so that people know about these things.
Well, and here's the great thing about this stuff too. So, Ghost, you were watching the canning party Friday.
Yeah.
And Ghost started talking about t-shirts, and so he's making the t-shirts that he's selling. And my ears perked up and I went, because he started talking about screen printing. And so that's really what we're looking for. It's hard to find. And so Ghost started talking about that. Then he started talking about his prices. And I went, whoa. And then he started talking about direct shipping. And so it's like, that's a no-brainer. So now you have somebody who's in the community. Now he's in a totally different state. But when you're like-minded and you're doing the same thing, you become a community, right? So you support like-minded people. It's about keeping our money in our community.
That's right.
And so Ghost will be doing that. I'll still probably have Laura do some specialty shirts for me because she's from Nowhere Homesteading. She's doing a run for me, a run of 20 I'll have at SelfReliance Festival. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, definitely be checking that out.
We'll still have our bonfire store, and the shirts we've got on there.
Really, you don't want to send those over to Ghost?
Well, for quantity,
he's direct shipping.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the ability to print them. If we ever hit it big, he couldn't keep up with the quantity.
Oh, I don't know. He seems pretty damn determined to me.
But anyway,
I think he'd figure it out.
So the shirts you get off of the bonfire site that we're using it's called DRE, so they're direct something. It's not screen printing. It's kind of like screen printing. It doesn't last quite as long, but they're still good quality shirts. Jonathan says he opened here. Why am I talking? Still learning how to do this. Opened some mango salsa yesterday. Isn't that some good stuff? It's just you'll have to
confiscated the whole jar. Well, I can either send you another jar, or you can get your butt up here. I'll feed you, and I'll give you a jar. So,
and then Starla,
because that's seasonal. I can only, that's one thing. The mangoes I have to buy. So, when those are seasonal, then I go and grab a case, and I usually do the mango salsa.
So there's the Oklahoma Homestead Expo, June 2nd and 3rd in Morgan County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that is.
We can look it up.
Yeah, we can look it up.
I didn't get pad and paper. Do you want me to be taking notes on this stuff? Well, you saved the comments, right? So that we can go back.
Well, they play in the replay.
Not always. You have to hit a button. So if you didn't hit the button,
I did that once. I did that once.
I don't know.
Hax wants to know how many. Show him your crates you got. Those are pretty cool.
Oh,
they're right behind you.
Who asked this?
Darren did. He needs to know how many you need.
Oh, how many I need?
Yeah, show him the crates though. Show him what you got for display.
You do it.
So she got these Waco crates at
Michael's.
And they're $20 a pop.
Yeah.
And so when Hax was over here yesterday, we talked him into getting measurements and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I can make those." So
he can bust them out.
He's wanting to do some woodworking, something fair. So.
I'm first. Patty needs one for potatoes, so I understand that. That's her husband, their tool, so I get that. But I am first. So if he's taking orders, my fulfillment gets done first. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to take those. I can stack them 3 high, and there's a dowel in between them, so they won't move and shift. And ideally, what I'd like to do, our tent is what, 12 by 12.
Mm-hmm.
I could take a 12 by 12 space and then line these up, 5, 6 high, and then all of the food products can go in there. So it's like you're just walking into a supermarket. You can grab what you want, and I'm not having to shift through buckets. Patty and Darren are not having to shift through buckets trying to find food. Well, they help us a lot. So, but so we're not having to try to find stuff. It's there, it's on. Because of the dowels, they won't shift. I can just wrap plastic and they can go straight in the trailer, and we pull them out, and we have like almost zero setup. Mm-hmm. So it would really be amazing. So he wants to know how many I need.
Yeah.
Well, I just gave you 12 by 12 measurement, 3 sides, and I've got 6 here. So you have the measurements on those. So I guess figure that out. At least. Well, this is 6 high, and I think 6 high is right. I think that's the right size because, right? I
don't know. I wouldn't put them down on the ground.
Well, then build me like a little platform or something, and then.
But I was just thinking if Hax does this enough, he could sell those at festivals and stuff too.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, because then we can just whatever is sitting there in display, we can go for sale, and then they can just buy them and take them after the festival.
And I talked to Two Old Crows today. Talked to Shelly.
Yeah.
Told her about the soap idea.
Okay.
So it looks like we may be selling their soap. We may be selling Two Old Crows soap at the SelfReliance Festival.
Garen just wants a bar. His sexy beast is gone.
Just, you know what? She won't admit it. She will not admit it, but she named that after me. Sorry, Randy. We missed Teapot. Teapot snuck in here.
Hi, Teapot.
We missed her.
Yeah, Teapot, I am working on your eggs. I've got 100, almost 100 ready to go. It'll be 100 tomorrow. So those will go in there. You need 240 eggs. So it's probably going to be another week before I get the rest of them done, but those will be done and ready, and then I'll get you an invoice and ship those out to you.
We didn't say hi to Hilltop Home Place either.
Hi, Hilltop.
They made it in.
Good.
Welcome. And I heard some bad news today. Our source for the compost for the chickens dried up. Because they decided I was getting it from an elderly center, elder center there on the nation. And they decided that they're going to do a garden for the elder people as a project and to help supplement what's going into the kitchen there. So they're not going to be giving me any more stuff. So that means I got to go find a new source of extra food for the chickens and all that.
Which is fine. You probably need to check with 1886 and see if we can get any there. So 1886 is a like-minded person, and they do farm fresh food. So they want to source all of their food directly from farmers. And so I'm sure she would probably help us out if we went and got that stupid $25 certificate and helped her out. But then I wouldn't have eggs to freeze dry for Teapot or anybody else.
Right. Everybody say a prayer for Skane's girl's grandson going in for a CAT scan tomorrow.
Oof.
Hope everything turns out okay. Seriously do. That's rough. It really is rough. What else do we got going on homestead wise? Extolling everybody to build community.
Yeah. Start working on your garden plans and figuring out what you're going to do. We need to figure out a little bit bigger effect. We need to get up to Tabletop Farms because I've got to see their setup. We need to get lumber insulation out of the greenhouse. I've got to get that cleaned up, ready to go, because it is time for the sweet potato slits to get started. And if you don't want lights and shelving in here, baby, you got to get that done. And so sweet potato slips are important because for some reason there's a shortage. And I have people that drive forever to get here just to buy my sweet potato slips. So.
Yep. She got 180 pounds of chicken.
Woo, nice.
That's a lot of canning.
Nice. Yeah, she got a good deal on that.
And then 6 high, 3 bins across is 108 bins, he says.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
There it is.
So that's a lot. I could do more food.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And then, and I want to clarify something too. So, last Tuesday, I was on Living Free in Tennessee, and we had an interview, and I was just thinking about this, and I think I need to clarify. So Nicole had made the comment, she just thinks it's really cool that we grow all of our own food, and then that's what we put in. So I want to let you guys know, sometimes, and especially in the winter, like the eggs that we have. So it's impossible if we're only getting X amount of eggs. Sometimes we have to reach out to other farmers. And so, but we know how they grow. We know what they're doing. Like Hacks, I'm getting eggs from her right now. I pay her a fair price. She charges me a fair price. And
we got some produce from Being Tagged.
Yeah, we've gotten produce from Life Done Free, beef from Kelly Farms. And so I just want to let you guys know that if you're this is another reason why community is important, because you are getting farm fresh. You know how everything is raised. You know that there's no chemicals being used. And so it would be almost impossible for me to sell the amount of stuff that we sell and have it here. We would need 100,000 acres in order to do that.
The stuff going into it now does not have as much as came off of our property, just because the volume.
Yeah.
The volume.
So, but by building the community and reaching out to other farmers, it works for us.
That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate goal with the freeze-standing food or the freeze-dried food. To have as much of it come off
all farm production. Yeah. But
not just our property.
I was going to say, because like I just said, we'd have to add more, because man, I'm thinking this is going to explode. So
I certainly hope so.
But yeah, so we've got to figure out.
Either that or you go work for Johnsonville as free sausage, because Johnsonville pays their people in sausage.
No, they don't. I'm gonna have to ask Tony about that. I have to figure that out.
Tell him we want some sausage.
Yeah. So he's getting us. That's where we get the blue barrels from. Is from Johnsonville. So our store where we store our feed, and so there's that. But
okay, so now let's go into some news and commentary.
Oh my gosh!
So I am extremely disappointed right now.
In who? Biden? No,
in the fact that that it's hard to find American-made
Muck
boots. So I've got those Muck shoes, the little ankle high ones, and I've had them for 7-8 years now. Yeah. And I stepped in a puddle this weekend and my sock got wet. Yeah. And it wasn't because it came over the top, because it came in the side. And plus the puppy's been chewing on them, and so they need to be replaced. So I got a collaboration email from a company called Dry Code. And I went out and I looked at their stuff.
Garen was like, "Oh,
no, the boots looked really nice, and they were reasonably priced."
And then he researched the
company. I researched the company, and they're out of China.
Yeah.
So that puts that off. And then I was like, well, I wonder where Muck Boots are made. And like a fool, I went and looked. All your Muck Boots are made in China now. I think there's a couple of the products that are made in other countries, but most of them. The ones that I want are all made in China. So that's out. So I found a place. Let me see if I can pull the name of this place up. Okay, it's called the All-American.org. And I will put links to this down in a pinned comment. They have a list of American-made boots, specifically like hunting boots and work boots and stuff. Muck Boots.
I want to clarify something though, and this is something that I've had to research, and it was because something that Carla and I were talking about. If you go out and you research, Made in America has 5 legal descriptions. So you can actually get the parts. So say like those, we'll just say muck boots. So you got a pair of insulated work boots. So they can actually order the boot and the insulation or the sole and the
allamerican.org.
cloth, and then they bring it in and they can call that made in America.
Allamerican.org has that in the list, and they tell you where it's made.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Great.
And you're talking where it's sourced from versus where it's made or assembled. So where it's made, so where it's sourced from is where the raw materials come from. Where it's made is where they make the components, and where it's assembled is where they put it together. So what you're ideally what you're looking for is something that's sourced, made, and assembled in the United States. I did find a company out of New Jersey that I can't remember the name of it, but they make boat shoes, and they make an ankle boot with a very aggressive tread on it, which would be perfect out here. And I was looking at them, and they're reasonably priced. They cost as much as what the model of muck shoe that I buy. Actually, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're made in New Jersey. They're made in, well, New Jersey's not really in America anymore. Do they
make women's boots, work boots?
I'm sure they do.
You just looked for yourself.
Yeah, I was just thinking of me. So I'm gonna buy a pair of those and see how well they work out. You know, because they've got a line of commercial fisherman boots. You know, the white calf high ones.
Yeah.
So they've got those, but they've also got ankle boots.
Doesn't Chris have a pair of those? I think I've seen him wear those.
Yes, he has a pair like that. I don't know if they're fisherman boots, but he's got a pair like that. So Skanes is saying epoxy glue. Yeah.
But now he knows they're made in China.
That really hurt. That really hurt because I like my muck shoes and I like my muck boots, you know. So Terminator fixed the hole in the rubber boots with a spray that could spray in the gutters.
Flex Seal.
Flex Seal?
Yeah, Flex Seal. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And somewhere.
But it's white. I'd be walking around with a big old white spot on me.
You were just working on the farm.
Yeah, but you got to look good when you're working on the farm.
Oh, please.
It'll match my holy shirts and stuff. Skanes is not sure how much she can. She bought 350 pounds of leg. Wow. Where do you find 350 pounds of leg quarters and 100 pounds of breasts over a 3 month span?
Yeah, okay. That's how she did it.
Did freeze some. Got bones in the oven now.
The Starla. So you're talking about the sweet potato slips. Let me help you save some money. So you can go to any organic store, and Whole Foods is really good. So go to Whole Foods and then pick out the sweet potatoes that you want, and you're gonna put those. I have videos on it. Put those 9x13 trays, what I use, and then I cover them in soil, and then I keep them moist like a wet beach, and I get slip after slip after slip, and I can cut them every 3 leaves, and so there's 1 slip. And then the next one under that at 3 leaves, and there's another slip. So not that I'm trying to give my business away, because it is what it is, but there's no sense in paying that kind of money when you can go spend $5-6 and then make them yourself, and you could sell them on the side or sell them back to a nursery and make some money for yourself. I get $15 for 12 slips.
Yeah, Rabbit, Starla's right. You can never have enough.
Right.
And any extra that you have, just throw them to the chickens.
What? The slips?
Slips, yeah. Any
oh, no, you plant them all, and then extra potatoes, cook them up, and you could
feed them to the chickens.
Or save them till next year, and then you don't have to go buy organic sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Well, we
I've got our potatoes, the purple ones, not the sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. And so they already started getting shoots out of them. And so I'm saving those because they were small. And so I didn't really want to roast with them and all that. So I've got those, and those I'll be cutting up and replanting. Those go out March 15th.
Tiger 454 showed up. How you doing tonight?
Hi.
We tried those The Japanese sweet potatoes.
You have talked about this so many times.
Did
and
I?
think everybody's in
The
here.
purple, the purple ones. The purple ones. Those I really like those.
Jonathan, ours got put in the greenhouse. He knows because he helped us put him there, and it was a hot mess. We lost them all, so I got to start all over again. But it's fine. But Jonathan has some that I grew last year, and he is getting sweet potato slips on.
Yeah, Hilltop. I think Danner's one of the ones on the list. Those things, the Danner's got real expensive though.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to buy combat boots because they used to make really good combat boots, but those things are just expensive now.
Well, and if you want to buy in America and you're going to stand by it, and we're going to starve the beast and starve overseas, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to pay more to Americans. So it just is what it is. What do you say? He's got the purples in the ground now. Yeah, because he's in Texas.
Yeah,
and hoping they sprout soon. Oh, I'm excited.
Yep, I do too. I am too.
Yeah.
Let's see what's the next story I found. I found a couple of good ones. Oh, this is nice. I'm going to put the link for all these stories that I'm talking about down in the comment. Fiscal year 2022 was a record year for illegal animal food products being imported into the United States.
I'm shocked.
So that
was sarcastic. Sorry.
They did the study, and it was up considerably for all these foodstuffs. Now there's no threat to humans. No. This is what the article said. There's no threat to humans, but the problem is China has so many of these funky diseases, hoof and mouth, and the swine flu and the avian flu, that when they ship this stuff over, they're literally in the same container as cell phones and household goods. And so you run the risk of that getting into the animal population in the United States. And it was a very interesting article, but I couldn't help but think, so who do we blame here? Is it the Chinese for sending the stuff in?
They're getting away with it, so they're allowed to do it. So how do you blame them?
But hold on.
Business is business.
Is it the American business people that are bringing it in? Is it the United States government for not putting a stop to it?
Who makes the rules?
I'm just saying.
Who makes the rules? That's where the liability goes.
There's a lot of because we talk about responsibility, and those business owners should be responsible too.
Did they know?
Well,
did they know?
They should, if they're important from China. Okay, anybody that says they didn't know that something was wrong with something from China.
We get stuff shipped all the time. I don't know what else is in that container.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You understand? I even had to order pans to do the eggs, so I ordered those pans. I don't know what else is in that container.
I know, but I'm saying, maybe these people shouldn't be importing these things in the United States.
I think that falls down on our government, but our government doesn't care. Yeah, so there's that. In fact, our president, the most popular president ever, decided that he was going to go offer billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to Ukraine on President's Day, while Ohio, East Palestine, Ohio, is suffering tremendously. And he said, you're not getting any money. And so, they're not going to help him. They're not going to do
anything. Well, they reversed that.
They reversed it, but he still did it. And I'm so proud of that mayor down there. That mayor literally said, President Biden, what you did was smack us in the face. And that is exactly what he did. People should be furious.
Well, if you want to, if speaking of that, I wasn't going to bring this up because it's politics, but if you want an interesting take on the Biden trip to Ukraine and what the rhetoric that's been coming out of our government, and
they're laundering money.
No, go watch. Peter Zeihan did a video yesterday talking about the relationship between the United States and China and Russia and how that's all fitting together now. Very eye-opening. Go read it or go listen to it. It's a short video. It's only about 8 minutes long, and he does a really good job of breaking it down and telling explaining what the rhetoric means, not necessarily what was said, but what the meaning behind it was. So I highly recommend.
The meaning behind it is we are screwed.
Well,
we are absolutely screwed.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the die is cast, and we need to make sure that we are getting ready. Okay, on the fun side.
Yes, let's have some fun because I could feel my blood pressure and I've got like goosebumps everywhere.
What's the name of this?
Ready to,
It's www.agdaily.com has a list of the national days of agriculture and where they are in the calendar. So we've got National Hemp Day was on
February 4th.
February 4th.
Mm-hmm.
That was National Hemp Day. We've got 2 of them coming up. One is on March 1st is National Pig Day. So
can we back up? Because I think I find this so ironic. The National Hemp Day. It's a National Hemp Day holiday, and hemp is illegal to grow in many, many states. And hemp is a great medicine, makes great material. We would literally, it's better than
I'm
cotton.
just surprised it wasn't on 420. That's only
they needed that for the marijuana.
That was my only thing. So go celebrate March 1st with a pulled pork sandwich or bacon or whatever your choice is. If you don't eat pork, do something in honor of it though. And the other one is March 19th, which is National Poultry Day. So we're going to throw a party for the chickens. Is that on a Tuesday?
Are we going to throw a party? I think we should call the roosters.
Is that on?
Oh, wait, what is that? March
19th.
You're doing it by yourself.
It's on a Sunday.
Oh, you're not doing it by yourself.
We may celebrate on a Sunday by calling a bunch of roosters.
Life Done Free Tag and Beat have some roosters that need to be called too. They're having the same issues we're having.
Yeah,
we've got cockfights going on everywhere, and I've got a Wyandotte, and it's sad. He's absolutely beautiful, and I'd love to keep him. He's great with the girls. He goes in, calls everybody in, but he's a real jerk.
The little one?
No, he's big. He's the big one.
The big one's not the alpha. The little one's the alpha.
Well, one of them's like attacking me like crazy.
You gotta kick him.
I did, and he still comes at me.
And kick him harder.
Why don't we just put him in the pot?
If you kick him and kill him before we call him, then we'll dress him out and use him for dog food.
I just want to put him in a pot.
Let's see, what do we got going on? Starla says this is a result of us talking about the whole thing. She's ready to bug out with her RV and truck to bug out location away, hour away, and one in. I don't know why you'd want to go to Mexico.
Mexico is so bad right now.
But to each their own. And let's see, what else did I have? Oh, and then Ag Daily also had a very good article about the yoke of mental health with the homestead. So some college did a survey of young farmers, and their stress level is higher than the national. Yeah. And so the article was about how.
Can you imagine? I mean, of course it is right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, farming's always stressful. I can't imagine my livelihood being on it.
Because they have only learned how to farm in debt and farm the original way, the old-fashioned way, which is not the right way to farm. Production is down. You're starving the soil. It's terrible.
So Rabbit, Missouri made medical marijuana legal last year, 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't.
Yeah, because I was still working for the National Guard.
Well, I don't think it wasn't. When was I selling those commercial buildings? Everybody was putting their bids in.
That was 3 years ago.
Was it? Oh, so I guess it was 2 years ago.
Well, Jonathan, they didn't say if they were big ag farmers or small farmers or what. They just said that young farmers in general.
Big ag farmers aren't stressed.
But the point of the article was that there's a lot of good ways on the homestead and on the farm to relieve stress.
Yep.
And all that. So Joseph G says banks ruined agriculture.
Yep.
Well.
Yep. I would agree. And it was all planned. And it goes all the way back. I've been telling you, if you go out to understandingag.com, right? And so if you go out there, there's a lot of stuff you can reach out to them. No matter where you guys are, they travel all over the US. And you go in and they're talking about regenerative farming and all of that. But they go back through the history. This was all planned and it was destruction. It was just absolute destruction on agriculture. So if we don't stand up, start taking things back, we're going to lose everything.
Yeah. Well, and I find interesting, I was looking up after the speech that he gave for the soil health and all that. Mm-hmm. I went back, I found a map that showed phosphate usage in the United States for farms. And it started in 1900. And there were these little dots all over the country of where phosphate was used. And I think the last map was 2020 because it was a couple years old. Almost the entire United States uses phosphates. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is with what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, that's like 46% of the world's phosphate production is right there in the area that they're fighting. And
isn't that interesting? Because somebody also brought up then in East Palestine that seems to be a lot of minerals that are extremely important and very expensive underneath East Palestine, and they're wanting to mine it.
I don't know. There's so many conspiracy theories going around. Conspiracies.
All the conspiracies that we had 4 years ago have all come true.
In 6 months we will come back and revisit this video and we'll see what's come of it.
That'll take longer than that because you're going to have people figure out how to restart their lives. They've got to get out of there. Yeah. And so, but it will happen. I guarantee it. Something's up.
Who was it? Who was it? You had photos. Were you showing me? No, it was Patty. Patty was showing photos of somebody that could see the plume of smoke from their house.
Oh.
Last night.
Yeah, no, it's just absolutely incredible. That was such a stupid idea to just set everything on fire. Unbelievable. And it didn't. They keep saying explosion, and then they control burned. One of the cars was already on fire. There's photos of it.
Yeah. No video.
So yeah, there's a whole video of it. So they're lying, folks, and they're feeding us the same BS that they've been feeding us for years.
Actually, yes, there's basis to that comment, but the big ag did not become the monster it is now until after World War II.
Well, and you have to remember and do your research on who is big ag. And so Oklahoma, I know for sure, some farms in Texas, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. I know there's got to be more. Basically, this big ag, it's China. And so they came in and here's what they said. Okay, we know you're broke, right? So they've been taking out loans to get everything and all of this stuff. Well, we're going to make it worth your while. So they pay them to farm. They pay off their house. They buy the land basically and the house from them. And the deal is you cannot leave it. You can stay there, but you cannot leave it to your children. There will not be anybody that inherits this land. You now work for us. And so when the hogs, especially at the time of swine flu outbreak, when all that crap was going on, and they literally went in. In fact, we had an opportunity to go in and buy. I think we were going to get the hogs were already fully grown and they were what, $50 a piece. So if we bought some, we got so many free and that kind of thing. And because they had to call them all. And so they literally Big Ag came in and said, okay, you're done. You need to kill all of those hogs.
T-Paw's trying to send Mrs. Hacks some jam in the next seed shipment.
Oh, T-Paw, you can do that if you do anything. If you can't get a hold of her, she doesn't give it to you. Let me know. You can send it to our box. I see her. Well, shoot, in the last 3-4 days, I've seen her twice. So
there you go. So that's what I was talking about, Joseph G. The phosphates and nitrates that they used to make all the explosives for World War II. They had these big, huge factories with no place to use it, and they figured out it was good for agriculture, and that's why it exploded in the 50s. What I find funny is the agricultural problem we're having now is rooted in the military industrial complex that Dwight D. Eisenhower warned us about in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
How weird is that?
Yep. That's a conspiracy theory.
No, that's the truth. So Skane says a high tunnel is on her list, looking fine. All they need to build it, clean up is around her dad's shop. That'd be nice. That'd be nice finding all the materials. That really would.
Mm-hmm.
Darren and Patty are good sources for talking about what happens to greenhouses and high tunnels and high winds. So if you have any questions on how to defend against that, I would approach them and ask them, because they are experts at that, because they're, man, I don't know.
She's making it herself, or she's looking at
looking for the parts that she cleans out her dad's shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
you might go over and look at what was it? It was greenhouse.com. No, are you sure? Where I got mine, I'll have to go back and look. We should have the link down there.
She doesn't want to pay. She doesn't want to pay $3,000.
No, they put the plans out there so you can kind of see.
Oh, okay.
And so there's like a metal strap that you can get that will go all the way around, and that's what I asked Hacks. You know, why not do that on there? Well, Mrs. Hacks is who I said.
ACM Homestead is looking in Laclede County.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad we don't still live in Missouri, man. We could get all these like-minded people and move them in. Well, Laclede wasn't too far from Cass, was it?
Oh no, it's down Lake of the Ozarks area.
That's down.
Actually, I know exactly, because that's where where friends of ours lake house is.
Oh, okay. That's Laclede down by.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got going on in the chat? But that's all the stories that I found. I didn't want. There's a lot of
doom and gloom.
There's a huge amount of doom and gloom, and I just didn't want to burden everybody with that. So I tried to find some upbeat stuff. You got to talk about some of the things, because like the increased agriculture imports.
Tiger 454. Yes, you should live in Missouri. We did. Since 1995, and we couldn't get anybody on board and to start a community.
I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to go full liberal. It's not our fault we're not in Missouri. It's your guys' fault, because you didn't build communities for us to find.
Well, no, I think that works both ways. But I'm also going to say we're really not too far from Missouri. So
yeah, we are.
If you knew where we at, this is why we have no problems doing events. In fact, I'm down in Pleasant Hill area, Blue Springs area, Kansas City area all the time.
Chances are this summer you're going to be done
more. And then plus Joplin area, and our son lives down there, and hopefully Springfield area, if I can get some festivals to contact me back.
Yep.
So we're over there all the time.
I still think if you can find land down there below I-40 and above the Arkansas border, that's a great place.
Above the Arkansas border, Arkansas, the north part of Arkansas is, you just got to get north.
You don't want to live in Arkansas.
You got to get north of Fayetteville.
There's not enough teeth in Arkansas.
It's terrible. Terrible.
No, but you got to admit that border area right down there along the border between Missouri and Arkansas, that's a beautiful country now.
It is
beautiful country. Yeah. The people that they've kind of got an arrested pioneer spirit, which is good, but you get that the whole outsider thing, but you can grow on.
Isn't there a festival coming up in Lebanon? I need to check that out, because I heard something like Travis was talking about that. You need to check that out so we can see if we can get in there.
Lebanon,
isn't
it the one that they hold? They do theirs in Texas County.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but they have their monthly meetings, and we need to check that out, because vendors are allowed there too. And I thought I told you about that, because we could totally do that. And then, but I think he said something about Lebanon. There was something coming up there. I don't know if it's just a rendezvous or if vendors are allowed. I have no idea, but that's something you might want to check out, and then just kind of see. But anyway, so Hacks also lived in Missouri.
Hacks,
yep.
The hacks
Nope.
but I'm out of the group. I'm the only original, the OG Missouri boy.
I don't know that that's anything to be proud of.
It's something extremely proud of.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
something to be. See now, Tiger, are you going to be at Midwest Preparedness Festival when we have it this spring?
Yeah, because you guys are also so close. So you're telling us that we need to be in Missouri, but you guys are also just as close. You can come to Perry Lake.
Yep. We need to get you guys up here and just have a great big Grumpy Acres. This is just turn it into Grumpy Acres subscriber meetup.
I don't think you can do that.
I'll bet we could.
But I bet you could schedule the camp out and do something like that.
I misspoke. See, this is why I like Darren so much, because he's an OG Missouri boy too.
Oh, for crying out loud. You guys are just so special.
We are.
So very special.
Tiger, yes, weird. No, the SelfReliance Festival is in Camden, Tennessee.
That's in Tennessee.
The 25th and 26th.
The Midwest Preparedness Festival, and you can go to on Facebook. You can go to Midwest Preparedness Project. There's a page out there, and
on MeWe.
They're also on MeWe, but all of the dates are there. I think it's like April 25th. Yeah, it's confirmed. Everything's ready to go. The speakers are done. All that's done. April 25th or 26th through May 1st or 2nd. So classes are usually Friday, Saturday, but maybe sometimes Thursday night.
Spags was talking about trying to push getting enough classes to have them on Thursday too.
Well, but that's usually Thursday night, isn't it? Thursday afternoon after. So, but if you want to come camp out, you can camp out all the way through and just get to know people before you start classes. So it's a great way to meet people.
Tiger, it's at Perry Lake, Kansas, which is about 20 miles northeast of Topeka.
Yeah.
So from where
you're from Lawrence, you're gonna go. It's kind of northeast of Lawrence.
Northwest of Lawrence.
Northwest of Lawrence. Sorry. Yes, you're right.
It's between Lawrence and Topeka.
Yeah. You want the Lecompton area, but group camp out too.
From where you are, it's probably a 5-hour drive. She'd be down by Dent.
Yeah. So she'd probably no, because she could cross over. You could cross over and then come up through Fort Scott. She doesn't have to go all the way up 49 and then, or I guess it's not 49 anymore.
It's 49.
Is it 49 instead of 71? So
it's still 71 in my heart.
She wouldn't have to come all the way up through 49 and go through Kansas and come all the way around.
It was a 3-hour drive down there from where we lived in Cass County.
To where?
Down into that area.
To Springfield area?
Yeah, it's a 3-hour drive.
No.
Yeah.
I was selling houses down there. It took me like 2 hours.
You speed.
You were out of your mind.
You speed.
Anyway, you're looking probably maybe a 4-hour drive, 4 or 5-hour drive.
Yeah. But it's worth it. If you're coming up to she says probably 5 or 6.
5 or
hours.
6.
Yeah, but still, that's you come up.
It's doable. We have people from Southern Texas that come up.
Yeah, Jonathan drove up. Jonathan, is it if you're still in here, is the Midwest Preparedness Festival driving distance from Texas?
Who else? We had other people from other states that were pretty far away. I mean, there were people that drove 12 hours to be there. So yeah, we have quite a few. But so it's pretty exciting. So we've got that. Spags is growing that very, very well. And and I guess Data's working on it too. So so that's all working out. I'm just glad we don't have to organize it anymore.
Yeah, we did that. We did that 2 camp outs?
3
camp outs? Because we did 2, then we skipped 1, then we did. Yeah, that's a lot. And they weren't nearly as big. They weren't festivals back then. They were just camp outs.
Tag did 15.
Yeah, Tag's done 15 of them.
And so everybody's done. All the OGs are done.
Yep.
So except for Spags, he loves doing it, and so does Data. So but they're like really big people's
They're
persons.
Salesmen. They're salesmen.
Yeah.
But I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, Tiger, you know what? There's a spot at our table at the potluck on Saturday night for you, and you can sit next to us by the campfire, and we'll point at.
Come see us over at our tent. We'll have the vendor tent out there.
We'll point at the people you need to laugh at.
The people not to talk to.
That wasn't very community minded.
Dolores. Yeah. So, but she's where's she at? I have to Midwest meetup. Oh, Southern Indiana. That's the end of April.
Yep.
Yeah, we're having the same issue.
Yep.
So this is why we're trying to get that community calendar and freestanding going so we don't book over each other.
Right.
And so we're going to SelfReliance Festival. So because we're doing that, we're missing the rendezvous in North Carolina.
Yep.
But we had already committed to one over the other. So yeah, it stinks. But as we get everybody educated on how to do it, it's going to work out. So we'll figure it out. It's just going to take a few years.
Well,
to
and
get that done.
these meetups and these campouts and these festivals,
Mhm.
the Midwest Preparedness one has been going on for a long time. So I wouldn't call it new, but there's a lot of new ones, like the Ozark meetup at Stockton Lake in June is the first one they've ever done.
No.
The Backwoods Misfits.
What weekend is that?
June 11th, 10th, and 11th.
You may not be able to make that one.
That's fine.
Because I think that's the Prepper Expo in Colorado.
No, they haven't got dates for that one yet. I was talking to Spags about that.
You better make sure, because that would take. I can't do that by myself. That one's huge.
So Joseph G discovered a lot of like-minded folks in Franklin County.
Oh yeah. We've got a friend that lives down there.
Yep.
And a few. So yeah, I think you would love them. They're great people. She's an RN, and he was. I think he's still working for the school district, right? Whiskey Jack.
No, he was working for the county, then he was working for a private company.
Okay. But yeah, they're down there. Whiskey Jack and his wife, they're great people. So we really like them.
Well, okay, Tiger, here's the way we've come to the point. Everybody in our group is about building community, and anybody that needs guidance, wants to bounce ideas off anybody, reach out to somebody in our group.
Dang, we're also close enough we could just drive halfway and meet each other for lunch or something.
You got Darren and Patty from Hexham Homesteader, Tag and B, us. We're all about it, and we want to help people, and we want to share our experience. Jason from Kentucky Sustainable is one. He's helping Dog Creek Farm start the same type of organization in Indiana. And talking with Jason and finding exactly how big his network is, I think he said there's like 900 people in that network there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad, you have a good night. Just watch for those ice storms and amateur hour.
Yeah. Tiger, Mother Earth News Fair. No, we've never done it. In fact, we quit going. When's the last time we went to Mother Earth News Fair?
4 years ago.
Or has it? I thought it was longer than that.
Maybe longer.
It got too commercial. It wasn't, something just didn't feel right. It just wasn't right. And then when I was talking to Doug,
it was like a LARP of their magazine.
Yeah. And when I was talking to Doug, from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, when I was chatting with him, they quit doing them too. So they were doing them all the time. And
in fact, that's where we met Doug and Stacy the first time.
Yes. Yeah. And so I don't know. I don't think we're going to explore that. The commercial and the government guidelines and restrictions, I just don't want anything to do with it. It's making people sick. And so I don't want to be part of that. So I don't think we will.
T-Paw, the North Carolina meetup is at Hanging Rock National Park, March 25th and 26th. If you go to Ghost channel, they talk about it constantly. I don't mean that in a good way. But they talk about it, and they've got all the information. But you can rent campsites, and they're going to have classes. They're going to have. I think they were saying they were going to have a barter town now, because I mentioned something to them about that, and
they were going to try. I'm not sure that they said they would, but
they were going to try. So they are trying to build, and they said they've got 35 people that they know are coming.
Yeah, that doesn't even include who's just going to show up.
More.
And then,
Yeah.
and then you're still a month away. So, more people are going to go, oh, wait a minute, that weekend just opened up. And that's how we started.
And as well as I do that if 100 people say that they're going to be there, you'll get half. And
Well, not necessarily, though. I think times are changing on that.
We've never had one where everybody showed up and said they were. And the Backwoods Misfits, the one down at Stockton Lake on June 10th and 11th, they said they've got 75 people say they're going to be there for their very first one.
Okay, interesting.
And I'm telling you what, folks, in all seriousness, if you're looking to relocate into a like-minded area, that mid-central Missouri, west central Missouri area is a good place to look for property. The government's not too terribly intrusive. Closer you get to Kansas City or Springfield or
Columbia. And those are your liberal cities too. So that's what that is. But there's a lot of conservative minded, but it's interesting to me because even the more people that we talk to and meet and people coming into our community, everybody's like-minded, pretty much has the same views on voting and all of that stuff and who's in office. So it absolutely amazes me out here, especially we know our polls are rigged. So they're bought and paid for. It doesn't matter what we say. It's going to happen. So it just is what it is.
And I was just going to say people could move to this area too, but you just shot that one full of holes.
Why? Same thing in Missouri.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in Missouri, and it's the same thing in Tennessee, and the same thing in Arkansas.
Yeah. So Joseph G, the land prices, it's like that everywhere.
Yep, they went
it's
high.
Like that everywhere. As the prices in the city, oh, good job.
Sorry.
As the prices in the city go up, or how do I put this? As the markets crash in the cities, the prices go up out in the country. It happens.
No. As people are fleeing other cities, the liberal cities and states, the prices go up here. And unfortunately, the more of us that are doing private back deals with like-minded people, nothing is going into MLS, so there's no comps. So that way, when a city person comes in and they pay $13.5 for an acre, that's all you see is $13.5 per acre. Because I'm trying to clean up my mess.
She's got this look on her face like she's lecturing me. Yeah, Tiger, it's at Perry Lake, which is about 10 minutes north of Perry, Kansas.
No, it's in Perry, Kansas. Perry Lake is in Perry, Kansas.
Well, no, but the campground and everything is about 10 minutes north of Perry.
Yeah, you'll just go 59 and then make a right on, I can't remember where that gas station is, and make a right there and then go up and it's about a 10-minute
The only
drive.
stoplight in Perry.
Yeah, the only stoplight. Make a right at the stoplight.
Yeah, it's at Perry Lake. So yes, it's Skane says that land prices aren't too bad there in Louisiana.
Have you talked to a real estate agent?
Because it's too hot and you got those great big skeeters.
Maybe, I don't know. We got something going on here.
Carry your puppy dogs away.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I used to live with a guy from Homa. He was an interesting character.
Yeah, so that's the thing, Joseph G. And I've always said that because I knew that as a real estate agent. You're going to pay a pretty penny for acreage and a nice house. So you usually either pick the land or you pick the house, which is what we did when we came here. And it's also what we did at the last homestead. Mm-hmm. And so, we're pretty good at, envisioning how we want things to look and getting that going. This one just ended up being way more work. And, so it's crazy.
So Tiger, if you go on MeWe or Facebook, it's called the Midwest Preparedness Project. And the gathering is called the Midwest Preparedness Festival.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I will put a link. Well, I'll get it from Spags. I'll get a link up.
We can put it in the community page.
Yeah, I'll get. That's a good idea. I'll get all the information. I'll put it in the community page so you guys can see when and where.
Yeah, just go to Facebook and plug in Midwest Preparedness Project, and that should get you there. That'll get you to the feed, and then you can get the information in there.
Actually, if you do a hashtag search on YouTube for Midwest Preparedness Project.
Oh yeah, we have videos out there.
We've got videos from 2 years ago, two
Last
festivals,
year.
two
No,
festivals.
the last. What are you talking about?
I didn't get any videos.
The last festival. It was the very last festival.
I didn't get videos of that one.
That wasn't our video. That
they're out there too.
That was those should be out there, and those were, I think, Data, Getting Deep with Data and Spags. Data may actually, I think he linked that into the Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay, Joseph G's got a question. How can you buy raw land without owner finance option?
You cannot, unless you want to add a mortgage. You want to put a lien against your house. You can loan against your house if you have enough equity, but usually you can't. You could do a construction loan. So if you wanted to do a construction loan, that's still going to be 25% down on the land. And then I don't know, depending on what the bank requires, you just have to ask the bank, so how much time do I have? Because maybe you're not going to build for, I don't know, 3-4 years, but construction loan is probably about the only way to do that.
Let's see here. What do we got going? Well, Angela, we're going an hour and a half.
Oh, geez.
Over an hour and a half.
I got to get broccoli and my cheddar.
Broccoli,
bacon, potato soup.
What is it?
It is.
No, say it like you just said it.
No, I don't know if I could again. I got to get my broccoli in there.
Yeah. So we need to, and the puppers is outside. We need to get
her in. Yep.
And get everybody ready for bed. We got a long day tomorrow.
Yep.
Got a lot of stuff to do. Yep. Before we go, I went through a broker and got our land $50 down and then monthly payments.
Okay, so just check with the bank. So that must be a smaller bank. I know BOK.
Well, she did a broker. That's not necessarily a bank.
Oh, through
Could
a broker.
somebody be doing a for sale by owner in FSBO?
No, a broker that's gonna be your loan officer. So, but if it's smaller, so like community bank, something like that. So maybe like a farmland loan, that kind of thing. So it's possible. It's just, you just have to figure it out. You have to go to the bank. Most of your bigger banks aren't going to do it.
Right.
So, and that in our experience anyway. So,
okay, folks. Like I said, getting late. You guys need to go take care of stuff you need to get taken care of. I need to get my beauty sleep. Take care of the puppers and well, you got anything final to say? You got any last?
Joseph G, what's a broker? So broker. So okay, there's actually two terms for a broker. So a broker is usually the loan officer if you're dealing with the loan side, and then you'll also have a broker who is the real estate agent that you're working through. So most of your agents that are covering that land and showing you that land, etc., will have a specific broker that they are working with on the loan side that could get you that loan on that land. So for me, when I was in real estate and I was doing all of that, the loan officer that I constantly used, the broker, was Nathan Carlisle. And at the time he was through BOK, and then that switched over to something else and he went to something else. So, but Nathan was able to do that. And every time he switched agencies, it was something different. There was some new rule. So you want to find an agent. If you're looking at raw land, you want an agent that specializes in raw land, because they're going to know what bank to connect you to get that loan. Yeah. So
Tiger, you don't need to
what she
talk
said?
about. She said she hopes that her life didn't take up our life.
Absolutely.
You asked some good questions. These are the reasons why we have these lives. Well, we started having these lives.
Yeah.
And now they're finally starting to hit their stride, and we're getting people involved, and it's. I mean, I really enjoy these lives now. I really do. I enjoy interacting with everybody.
Is Tiger alive right now?
Her life. Glad my life. She misspelled.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. No. So no. Oh, he was teasing her.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, no. No, you didn't. And there's, this is one of the things I found. So many people get so intimidated by real estate and buying things that they freeze and they won't do it. So
there's a lot of real estate agents and bankers are shady.
They're just assholes. I mean, let's just face it, they're crooked. And so, that was one thing that always ticked me off. And
most of them, not all of them.
I was not. And so there was some time I had to leave. I had to get out. because I could just feel the drain. You saw the drain. And so he would tell me all the time, he's like, you got to slow down. I'm like, I can't. And because you get a good reputation, people know you're honest, and then you get mega business.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's not intimidating. You just got to find the right agent. So this is another reason for like-minded community. For Kansas, we have an agent that can be trusted, is like-minded, and will be honest with you and show you what you need.
So if you're first time watching our live and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, we'd love for you to join our community.
Thanks, Gainsborough.
You guys hit that thumbs up button. Let us know that.
Oh, Tiger was live on YouTube earlier. We'll have to go check that out. We'll check out the
I
replay.
didn't realize you were live on YouTube. We'll have to watch the replay.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit the chats so we can see the chat. You don't want to get in trouble.
But the other thing, what I want to say is that this is why it's important to hit the notification bell, because we didn't know she was on. And had we hit the notification bell on her channel, then it would have pinged directly to us and we would have known that she was
lucky.
Not that we would have had time to watch, to be honest with you.
Lucky said that she didn't get notification for the
a lot of people didn't get notification.
So if you're running into a problem where you're not getting notifications, unsubscribe from the channel and back into it. And resubscribe.
And then don't forget about Thursday's live, 7 o'clock.
Thursday, live at 7.
Yep.
There's Virginia. How you doing?
Hi, Virginia.
7 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be talking with Dog Creek Farm about how he got to where he is, and more importantly, what he's doing in Indiana.
Yep.
Trying to build a network.
Yep.
All right.
Lucky. She always do that. All right, guys, we're out. There's another chat that's getting ready to start. They live to blow us up at the end. So we love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. And until next time, go live a life done free.
Amen. You guys take care. And let's hit the end broadcast. You guys are